All right. Greetings, Ashe. This is Aurora Divine. I am coming to you on a different platform today. Thank you to one of my sisters, which was amazing. I didn't know that this was a feature for, YouTube. But anyways, I wanted to share some light, if I may. And I want to share some light about the light that has been shared recently, which is amazing. But I wanted to shout out my sister Nikki C in the building. I love this lady. She builds and continues to build. And when we build, it is it's monumental, meaning like there is a lot that we build on, but it's not just the major things, it's the very small things that lead to the bigger steps that we can take or that we have the ability to take, right? But along with those big steps are all the small steps in between. And that's what having sisters shows you. It allows you to reflect on these big and small steps that you do take, right? Because we reflect each other in all of the steps that we take. And meaning like steps, right? Steps like things that we do in order. And this is where sequential order comes from. So, today I found a lot of inspiration within myself to sit and write something that I haven't written before. And I love to write based off of like intuitively what I feel. And, one of the things that inspired me is just my sisters. We have this, and Nikki referenced an organic type of like relationship. And it's very true. The organic relationship that we have is built upon real love, real truth, empowerment. Um, and this is a very synergetic type of relationship that we have, and it becomes a reflection for all four of us. So no matter what we tend to kind of go through, we are reflecting it within each other. And it could be the smallest to the biggest things to the smallest things, but it is such a beautiful reflection and a very harmonious type of relationship. So, I just want to go ahead and say I love my sisters for acknowledging that we are very fluid. We have this fluidity about us. Um, I just wanted to come on here and I wrote something, and this is what inspired me was the transitions in life that we take. And, Sister Nikki was speaking on transitions, but in a different sense today. And she was speaking about transitioning like from one altar to another, right? And altar meaning like one self to another self. something that we alter within ourselves to transition to become something different, right? And this is what gave me this inspiration, because when we speak about transitioning, we're also speaking about the alchemy that we definitely work on internally as well as externally. And transitioning is also transforming. So you are transforming something different. So I have a written, and the written is called Sequential Order. And I am going to speak my piece, and then I will go ahead and get into it a little deeper. So this is called Sequential Order. I I see an order of unlimited possibilities, where divine potential meets infinite power, divine rights that overrides manipulated, refracted eyes, creating reverse lies that feeds the pillars of control. I see the confusion of unbalanced forces which contradict one another, internal wars that wage on and have no cease. Two seas, one of shallow, one of deep. Seas that crash against each other, push and pull, but still no control. I see the division, Diana's vision. I see the death in your reality. I see that I give life, light to your division, the magnetic force that creates bonds within and outside of bodies. I see that unstable and stable bonds that have formed due to your alchemy. Seeing your undecisiveness, flight mentality. Unstable compounds is an environment for chaos. Does your chaos bond with mine? Does my chaos override yours? Are you acknowledging the pedigree of this confession? Has this illumination given you your self education to process this transformation? By definition, this magnum base is my opus gold, and this is the very truth untold. Now, that's what I call sequential order. I actually wrote it today. And it seems to me that the main energy right now is self alchemy. And this is why I wanted to come today and speak my piece based off what I wrote. And I tend to see that this alchemy, these stages of alchemy, they're heavy. And it's not only what we would consider a base to gold type of transformation, right? But it is also a psychological transformation, a conscious or subconscious transformation, both technically. So the psychological transformation would be the conscious transformation working for the subconscious transformation. Now that's pretty interesting, because when I think about that, what is the first thing that we internalize is everything we externally see. So that would be your conscious mind. Now, if we're transforming the conscious mind, it's for subconscious, how can I say, like subconscious communication. So we have to go through these orders, right? We have to go through a certain order. And it's funny, right? Because what happens if we jump from one process to another? That alchemy, right? There is certain metals that may be transforming or have the potential to transform faster. But how long or how fast are you rushing this transformation, right? This process. And this is another thing that we have to realize, like this process of transformation, we can't rush it. As much as we feel to rush this alchemy, this internalizing, externalizing alchemy, right? Alchemy process, like we're in no rush to do so. And a lot of us feel that we need to like hurry up and put a stamp on it. You feel me? And that's one thing that I've been reflecting on. And I'm realizing like, yo, we're always utilizing a lot of our energy to move things in reference, move the energies from place to place, right? Move them within ourselves to have action or to not have action, right? Sometimes we have to literally stop ourselves from being active. Like, what if some people are too impulsive, you know? So, another thing that I wanted to actually just tap into real quick was transmutation, right? So, right now, I've been realizing that the transmutation that I've been doing has been literally taking something of negative, of a base, right? Something of a negative base, and transmuting that to something that I could work with. This is also alchemy. Now, I've heard so many times that anger gets shit done, right? Do we not understand that anger, because it's pain, we can literally use that as ammunition because we transmute that into fire. Another thing too is that since we're speaking on alchemy, we're also speaking on bonds, right? We're speaking about atoms, about how they come together. That was the whole reason for me saying certain things in my spoken word, based off of bonds, compounds, right? So forming these bonds with other people, we have to realize that we are an atom of our own. We have a certain amount of electrons, right? And so when we, as an atom, interact, or how can I say, come together with another atom, which would be another person, depending on how many electrons they have, that is how the bond is going to like create, right? It's going to come together. Let's say I have more electrons than this person, and I'm just kind of being like funny here when I say that, right? But what if I technically have more electrical spark? Well, then wouldn't that other atom be more dependent on the electrons that I have? You know what I'm saying? To kind of like bond with me, but somehow our bond still, it comes together. It's just now it's a different form. It's a molecule, y'all. Like, it's a molecule, right? So that's something for us to kind of consider, is the micro to macro versions of us. And that's a lot of the reflection that I've been doing lately. And I'm seeing that, like, even internally, as I go through certain things and certain situations in this life, that my pain is my biggest motivator. People's anger should be their biggest motivator. And my pain is my motivator because I transmute the pain, and it might be into anger very temporarily, but it's really fire. I'm already fire. So if I'm in my emotions, right? And that is what's giving me, and that is what has like caused some type of pain. We're talking about elements. We're still talking about atoms. We're still talking about the what bonds you carry and what bonds you share with other atoms or other bodies. And these are just this is just free thoughts. I'm just free flowing here, but when I kind of look back at a lot of this stuff, I'm starting to realize like we have to really understand ourselves on a microscopic level, like, and that would be the most simplest form of us would be an atom, and how atoms actually have relation and how we can see ourselves like kind of create these worlds, right? By two atoms coming together to create a molecule. A molecule creates something bigger, and everything just keeps expanding. So then what happens when we have a contraction of things, like when things start to kind of contract or bend in on itself? And I tend to say that these are my like tower moments in life, when things expand so great that they have to kind of fall back in on itself. That is also a process in alchemy. Um, and I just kind of like understand more when I'm looking into alchemy. And I've been in this alchemical energy since probably possibly even before 9/11 um, of this year. But I made a painting which reflected the the alchemy of bonded alchemy, that would be coming together and creating a third essence, and that's what true alchemy is, right? So I just wanted to chime in real quick. If anyone is listening, you might want to look back in the beginning, or more toward the beginning of the video, since my spoken word was toward the beginning. But I just wanted to thank everyone for tuning in. And now that I'm able to go live a little more, I think I will. So this will just be the first of many. And free flowing thoughts, of course, and as well as my icon. My icon is definitely alchemy, and it's very coded. So if you get it, you get it. But I implore you to see and actually go through the steps of alchemy. And it's funny because as I was looking up some of the steps of alchemy, I realized that there is a certain sequential order of alchemy, and it goes by numbers. So alchemy doesn't just have four steps. There's how can I say? I feel like there's four different types of alchemy steps, and they go by certain numbers. So there is going to be like a 4 alchemy step, a 7 alchemy step, a 12 alchemy step, and I believe a 14 alchemy step. And all of these numbers themselves are very divine. And that already shows you that these steps are already encoded into our DNA. So we're already doing this based off of those numbers by themselves. Those numbers are very divine. They have a very deeper purpose. And just by realizing that there's 4 different like list of alchemy, orders or steps, you know what I'm saying, or stages. That's what I meant to say. That alone tells me, like, I don't think a lot of people are really understanding what true alchemy is. And it isn't about turning base into gold, because we are the gold. We are the base. That is what carbon is. It is base, but it's beyond gold. Okay. We're talking about crystalline at this point. So, what tops gold would be crystalline. Um, and so, gold would just be a frequency at this point, and also it would be a psychological type of uh, thinking, right? It would be how you think. So, gold, when people think of gold, it is like Christ consciousness. So, um, I just wanted to share that I am kind of channeling right now. I do feel the channeling coming through. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in again. This is Aurora Divine. Thank you all. Have a great and blessed day. And I'm out.